And I now ask that Dr. Robert Gordon come to the podium to read the citation.
It is with great pleasure to welcome and introduce to you Nora Young, the host and creator of the award-winning show Spark, which airs across Canada on CBC Radio 1 and internationally as a podcast. Ms. Young is an extraordinary and accomplished journalist, author, mentor, and public speaker. Considered as one of Canada's superior storytellers, her work addresses how technology is transforming our lives and the world around us. Her work reaches large national and international audiences, revealing a thought-provoking look at how technology is changing the way we understand ourselves, each other, and the culture we live in. She is an exemplary leader in her field and is an inspiration to youth and young women in the fields of science, technology, digital media, and journalism. It is truly an honor to have her here with us today. Ms. Young knew she wanted to be a journalist from a young age. Her interest in technology and society began as a master's student in political science at McGill University, where she focused on technology and political philosophy. She began her career as the founding host and producer of Definitely Not the Opera, an award-winning national CBC radio program about popular culture. Since then, she has hosted several national radio shows, including The Sunday Edition, The Arts Tonight, and Music and Company. She has also appeared several times on CBC Television's Opening Night, History Presents, and as a technology columnist with CBC News Sunday. As a technology columnist for CBC, Ms. Young specialized in pinpointing technological trends ahead of the curve to keep audience members informed and up to date. This was certainly true when she published her book in 2012 entitled The Virtual Self: How Our Digital Lives Are Altering the World Around Us. This book is founded on the rising popularity of self-tracking through digital technology, which is extremely prevalent in today's society. I am sure many of you have tweeted, posted a photo on Instagram, or updated your status on Facebook regarding the events of your everyday life, including the very special occasion today, your convocation. In doing so, these digital tools have created what Ms. Young refers to as data maps, which link our specific locations and personal information each time we change our status, post a photo, or check in online, and can lead to many concerns regarding privacy and data ownership. The virtual self challenges us to be digitally literate so we can become more knowledgeable on who owns our data and how it is ultimately being used. Technology, with the capacity for both innovation and disruption, has a powerful and transformational influence on society and culture. By engaging in these issues directly and by advancing these discussions over time, Ms. Young's work has had significant impact on the public discourse regarding technology on both a national and international level. She has had a progressively influential career as a public intellectual, exploring and uncovering the transformational impacts of technology on contemporary society and culture. Ms. Young's work truly captures our vision here at Laurier to strive and ignite the minds, spirits, and hearts of our communities through excellence in teaching and learning, in the discovery, scholarly exploration, and application of new ideas, and in instilling the courage to engage and challenge the world in all of its complexities. Madam Chancellor, I am instructed by the Senate of Wilfred Laurier University to request you to admit the degree of Doctors of Letters honoris causa, Ms. Nora Young.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa.
Madam Chancellor, President and Vice Chancellor McClatchy, distinguished participants, guests, and the graduating class. Thank you. This is truly an honor. I'm thrilled, I'm grateful, and it's also really, really cool. If you ever have the chance to be in this position, it's pretty fantastic. So when you Google hints for how to write these kinds of remarks for events like this, most sources suggest that you talk about what you wish you had known when you were the graduating class's ages. Okay, I can do that. I'm sure that you're all way more together than I was when I was at your stage of life. But I thought, okay, what do I wish that 20-something Nora Young had known? Number one, don't freak out. Really, don't freak out. It's all going to be fine. Two, have a plan. I don't know what was this kind of late 1980s thing that we had about not having a plan, but a plan is actually good. When I made a plan, starting at about age 40, it turns out it was a really good idea. Highly recommend it. But as we all know, plans are provisional, and contingency and chance, I've learned, can be your good friends. And the art of living lies in navigating a course through shifting currents. You know, in making my show Spark and in writing my book, I've been aware of nothing as much as the astonishing period of change that we're in the midst of right now, much of that driven by technological change. And of course, we've been through periods of technological upheaval, technological revolution even in the past, but the global speed and scale of change today truly is unprecedented. So what does it mean to live well and act well coming into the work world in this environment? As a journalist, and this is really one of the amazing things about being a journalist, is you have this privilege of talking to people who are shaping and analyzing and critiquing and satirizing these changes, and that's certainly been my great good fortune. And when I think about the guests who really stand out for me in 11 years of making Spark and the people I've talked to in my own research, I realize that beyond the grand scope of different types of things they do, they all share certain types of characteristics. The first is this distinct ability in what I think of as pattern recognition and connecting the dots, the ability to limn the signs of the future, which is, as I say, at no point as important as it is now. That change is so rapid. And this is one reason why we've always had what we lovingly call weird art on the show, because as Marshall McLuhan said, and as has become our sort of informal motto on the show, he said, "I think of art at its most significant as a distant early warning system that can always be relied on to tell the old culture what is beginning to happen to it." And I think that's something that we can all set our lights by, is thinking about what are those little distant early warning signs that we can use to guide us. And the second characteristic they share is critical thinking, which is this sort of fashionable thing that we say all the time now, right? Especially in educational contexts. We're always telling the next generation that they need critical thinking skills, as though the rest of us are intellectually or ethically exempted from thinking critically about the world around us. And yet, that critical thinking is especially important now, when our technologies and our systems are so complex, they threaten to overtake our ability to direct them. And I've seen, for example, people in computer science and engineering, but also people in arts and humanities, do exemplary work in critiquing the assumptions underlying our unquestioned faith in artificial intelligence. Madam Chancellor, you referred to the developments in artificial intelligence, and this is something that we've seen overtake our technological landscape. And as powerful it is, it demands on, places demands on all of us to voice our concerns and our critique. And third, hand in hand with this critical thinking, is the skill of turning things on their heads. It's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. And when I first came up with the idea for Spark, I wanted it to be about new thinking about old problems, not so much about hand-wringing, and a lot more about challenging our preconceptions. This is the skill that we see designers and philosophers and original thinkers of all stripes have in saying, wait, what if we looked at the problem like this instead? Because I think if our current climate, political and otherwise, shows us anything, it's that binary thinking is a kind of a prison. Fourth, collaborative skills. In my own life and work, I have this phrase, happy collaboration, which I don't know how I would define, but I always know when I'm there. I do my best work when I'm with a small group of people with diverse skills and views who trust each other, and that trust is key. And in a broader societal sense, our problems are too fleet of foot today for isolated individuals to grasp, if indeed that was ever the case. And then communication. To collaborate and understand, yes, but to then communicate those ideas clearly, honestly, rigorously, sure, but also creatively and passionately. These are the qualities we need to thrive and guide our society now. And they're the qualities that this generation in particular, I think, excels at, and that you here today have earned through hard work, commitment, and caring. And that last thing, caring, is really ultimately what it comes down to me after all of the great conversations I've had with these great people. It's simple, it's corny even, but what I've seen in the people who inspire me in the work I do is that they care, they really do. From the computer scientist trying to build ethical AI, to the woman I interviewed recently who, in her spare time, shares people's volunteered stories of loneliness on her website so that we may all feel less lonely. And it can be hard to find what you really, really care about. I know for me, it took me a while to see how what I was passionate about could fit with the work that I wanted to do. But keep that caring part of you close, where it can be your touchstone, your lodestar, because it will support you through the difficult times and lead you in the good times. It'll guide you as you claim your power. Again, my deep thanks for this honor. Thank you and congratulations.
And just before we let Dr. Young sit down, we would like her to sign the university registry. This is a record of all the honorary degree recipients that Laurier has ever had through its 100-year history and is kept in the library in our archives.